Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Sheriff here. So in today's video, we are going to do another hands-on experience about network traffic. And we are going to use two tools that are very important, which is the Tcpdump and then Wireshark. And those two, they will help us sniff the traffic that are going between our devices, okay? And then it is a very important, very interesting tool that we use when it comes to analyzing packets and then troubleshooting and then understand exactly the flow of data. Okay, so now before we start, I will definitely give you a different explanation of what is a TCP, kind of go through the definition of it, and also Wireshark, and also we may use Netcat, but we are going to use in my environment, we are going to use the Kali Linux and then the Metasploitable tool that I have. Okay, those are the two machines that we are going to use today, okay, which is the Kali Linux and the Meta. That's what I'm gonna just turn it on today, and then we're gonna do our hands-on experience on there. Okay, all right, so now without wasting any time, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm very excited about this project, because this is a tool that I have been doing some research, some learning about it, trying to understand the basic of how it works. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so first what we want to know is what is a packet sniffing. And as you can see here, packet sniffing is the process of capturing data packets as they travel across a network. So these packets contain information like IP addresses, protocol, and even raw data. Okay, so that's basically what is a packet sniffing. And the next thing we want to know is like why it is important to understand the packet sniffing. So because analyzing these packets help us understand exactly how systems communicate, troubleshoot issues, and then detect specific behavior. So that's the reason why we are doing the sniffing the network, to understand exactly what information is going through and how and where those information come from. And then, so that's what we're going to do. And then what tools that we are going to use. The first will be Tcpdump. So Tcpdump is a command line packet analyzer. It allows us to capture and display network traffic in real time from the terminal. And also it is a fast, lightweight, and then often used on servers or remote system where GUI are enabled. Okay, so now when we're done with the Tcpdump, we're going to use the Wireshark. And Wireshark is a graphical packet analysis tool. It provides a deep dive into each packet, visualize conversation between system, and support hundreds of protocols. That's what we're going to use today. Okay, and then now on my setup on my home lab, what we are going to use, we're going to use Kali Linux and Metasploitable. Okay, I have the Kali Linux is going to be on. They are both in the same network, and then they connect in the same network, so we can monitor traffic between them and use the Tcpdump to capture the capture and filter packets in the terminal, and then use Wireshark, which is going to be an interface, and to analyze the same traffic with more detail. Okay, so now that's what we are going to do today into our hands-on. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into my home lab and then turn on the Kali Linux and then the Meta. So the Meta, when we're done, we try to get the IP address of the Kali, get the IP address of the Meta, and then ping both of them, make sure that they both can communicate. And when we know for sure they can communicate, now we can go ahead and then start our analyzing the traffic going through between them. Okay, let's go. All right, guys, welcome back here. Now we are here in our Kali Linux is live and up, and also our Meta is here. Now what we want to do, we want to log here in our Meta, and to log in our Meta, the default username going to be msf admin, and also the password will be msf admin. Okay, msf, that's our password. Hold on, msf admin. There you go. Now we are in. Okay, so now what we want to do here, we want to go ahead and then check our IP address into our Linux. Let's open the terminal and let's make a little bit here big, and then let's check our IP address. So it's going to be IPA, and as you can see, we have our IP address here. Is going to be, let me write it down here. It's going to be 10.0.0.2 Kali. Okay, so now we have the IP address. Now what we want to do, we want to come here into our Meta and then check the IP address of our Meta. To check our IP here into our Meta, you're going to run this command, if config. There you go. And as you can see, we have our IP address here in our Meta, which is going to be 10.6.7. Let me write it down here, 10.6.6. 11. Okay, so now we have the two IP addresses. We have the Meta's IP and then we have the IP. Okay, so now let me clear here into our Kali. Let me clear that, and then also let me clear here into our Meta, because we know the IP addresses. Okay. So now the first step we want to do is we want to make sure that these two machines, they are communicating between them. Okay. So now to do that, we are going to use this command, which is going to be ping. So let's go ahead and then ping. Let's go ahead into our Kali and then ping our Meta. Okay. So it's going to be 10.6, hold on, 10.6.6.11. Okay, so let's ping that and make sure that they communicate. As you can see, now my Kali Linux was able to communicate with my Meta, the Meta. Okay, let me just use Meta because the Meta is not easy to pronounce. Okay, so whenever I say Meta, I'm talking about this one can communicate with this one. Okay, the Kali can communicate with the Meta. Okay, now let's go ahead and then check the Meta, make sure the Meta can communicate with the Kali. Now to stop this pinging, you want to do Control-C, and now it's going to stop. As you can see, it stopped, right? So now let's come here into our Meta, make sure the Meta can communicate also with the Kali, and then we are going to do the same thing, ping, and then the Kali's IP is going to be 10.0.0.2. Enter. There you go. So now also, as you can see here, the Meta is able to communicate also with the Kali. Okay, so now we are good. Now we know for sure that these two machines can communicate. Okay, so now any traffic analysis we want to do, we can have it in both sides. Okay, so now let's stop the Meta, and then let's clear the terminal. And here also into our Kali, let's clear the terminal. Now let's move into the next step. So here, the first command that I want to run is going to be man tcpdump, and then you will know why I'm first running this command, just because I want to make sure that everybody knows that in case that you need help or you don't understand exactly, for example, what to use with the Tcpdump, you can come here and it will give you like as you can see, this is the system manager's manual of the Tcpdump. It gives you for example, the count. If you want to count something with the Tcpdump, you can do Tcpdump -c as file right here, and it gives you the description of like the information that you want to know. With Tcpdump, you can find it here. Okay, so now for example, if you're looking for something like -r, like anything, everything that you need, you can come here and then read it about Tcpdump. And this is basically the manual page. Okay, that's the reason why I bring you here. So to you, for example, you know that there is a location, there is a place where you can go in case you're stuck somewhere, if you need help. Okay, so now to get out here, let's go ahead and click on Q, and then now we are out. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys that. So it's something also that I found when I was learning, that you can get into it and then to understand exactly if you need some help, if you're stuck somewhere. Also, you can use the Tcpdump help, and it's basically the same. Okay, it gives you the version of the Tcpdump that we have, and also it gives you the different options that you can use, for example, to file size, to understand like the M secret, to file -v, and all this kind of stuff, and it's something that definitely you need to do some research and then learn exactly which is why we use these different functions. So okay, so now this is the second one. This is just a location again where you can go in case that you need some help and understand exactly if you're missing one command and stuff like that with Tcpdump. Okay, so let me clear here, and then now we are out of there. All right, so here also we have another command. It is very helpful also to use. Is going to be tcpdump d. Okay, so it's basically showing us what is connected to this machine. Okay, so basically the tcpdump -d shows you all the interface that are connected into your Kali Linux. As far as mine, as you can see, I only have the Ethernet cable which is connected to this Kali Linux. But let's say that I have something else, let's say a Bluetooth or like anything else, anything that is connected to my Kali Linux, it will definitely show you exactly what you have. But so far for mine, and we have only one connection there, which is my Ethernet cable. Okay, all right, so now the first command that we are going to use with Tcpdump here to start our hands-on today is going to be, we are going to run as administrator, so it's going to be sudo tcpdump and -i and 0. Okay, so now here what we're doing is we are running as the administrator here and asking TCP on this interface that we have, which is the only connection that we have, which is going to be the Ethernet one. Okay, so now as that we type that command, let's run it and then see exactly what we have. Now it's going to ask you the password for your Kali Linux. Make sure to remember that, and boom. So let's see. Okay, so now it is now listening into the protocol that, as you can see here, is a full protocol decode listening on the Ethernet that we have, you see, which is the Ethernet cable, the Ethernet that we are connected. Okay, so now it is listening right now. Okay, as you can see now it's listening. Let's go ahead and then open another terminal, new Windows, and then let me put it here. As you can see, I open like second terminal. This terminal right here is listening exactly what Kali Linux is doing. Okay, so it's listening, as you can see, listening on the Ethernet cable, what the Ethernet that we have. Okay, so now let's come into the second one, and then let's ping Google. Let's ping Google.com. Okay, so now as we ping in Google here, we want to make sure that this one that is listening, the Tcpdump, is showing us exactly the activities that we have going on. Okay, so as we ping Google, let's see, there you go. So you see here we already ping Google, right? And it is now pinging Google here, and as the ping is going, and then now we are having some information that is showing here. It shows exactly what we requested and then the response that we are getting. Okay, so let's stop the ping here so we can explain exactly the Tcpdump, what information it was able to capture here while we are pinging our Google machine here. Okay, as you can see here, the information that we have here, it gives us the time that the request was made. As you can see here, we have the time right here, and then the IP address, which is my Kali Linux, and also is giving us the protocol that we use, which is ICMP. And as you can see, this is the request, and then the length, the sequence, and then the length that we have, 64. Okay, so now this is the first information that we get, which is like what our send to Google. And then the request, the reply that we have, it is the request. The reply is right here, and the time that the reply came, and when you ask Google, and Google say, yes, I'm up, you know. And this is, as you can see, this is the reply that we received from Google. And then this is the length of the package, and then this is the request, and also this is the reply, as you can see here. So it gives you a lot of information, but so far this information is not helping because it's not giving us much. The only information it gives us so far is like, we know that we did ping Google, and then Google did respond, and then when they responded, and then this is the information that we have, the time, and who pinged Google, and what time, and then what request that we get so far. Okay, so now let's go ahead and stop this, Control-C, stop, and then now let's clear the windows and then go in more into depth. Now this time that we clear the terminal, let's go ahead and run another sudo tcpdump, and then now let's add fx is going to be for the hex, and a is going to be for the X. I think that's how they pronounce it. Let me make sure that I'm pronouncing it right. But this is the command that we are going to run. And then now to have more information, we are going to ping our meta here. Okay, so now here also let me clear the terminal, and then now I'm going to ping the meta. So now here what we're doing is sudo, we are running as an administrator. Okay, and then the it is like the interface of the Ethernet that we have, and then the X is like the packet content. It has the hex, and also after the hex we have the axis, that which is going to be the A. So basically that's what we're going to display, and it will display exactly the information that we have when we are trying to ping the meta here. Okay, and also this one also is important to go ahead and then do some research with X and then X, and also to understand exactly what it means. Okay, so now let me just go ahead and here ping that, and also we'll see exactly what we have. So when we do here, we can click on enter, and let's put our password. We have our password, and as you can see, it is listening. Okay, it is listening exactly to see exactly what we have here. So now, as you can see, it's listening, it's waiting for us. So whatever we are doing here is gonna capture that here. Okay, so the Tcpdump is now listening into our next move. The next move that we are doing here is will provide all the information. Okay, so now let's go ahead and ping our meta here, and then see exactly what is going to capture. Okay, so now let's ping our meta here. Is going to be ping, and then our IP is going to be 10.6. There you go. So it's going to be this one right here. Okay, so now let's ping it. There you go. So as it is pinging our meta here, as you can see, it is capturing all the information. So the information is being captured here into our Tcpdump, and then now the Kali is pinging the the Meta. So let me stop this ping right here. And then as it stops, so now let's go ahead and then go through this information that we have here. So this is all the information that we receive, that what we were doing here is being captured here in our Tcpdump. Okay. Wow. So guys, here, this information that we have here is crazy. So now, as you can see here, it is showing us that the ping is coming from our Linux. Okay. So as you can see, it is coming from our Kali Linux. This is my Kali IP address, which is Mara. Okay. It gives us the time, as you can see here. And then now that after the time, we have where the ping coming from. And then now we can see exactly where it's going. Okay. So the request is right there. So we know that exactly is coming from our. So as I was explaining, it's coming from our Kali Linux, which is the Mara. This is the Kali Linux that we have. And it's going to our Meta, which is our Meta's IP addresses, okay? And also this is the protocol that we use, which is ICP, and this is the request. And then now when we requested this is the information, this is the number that was sent, okay? What was sent. Man, this is a lot of information. It is very, very interesting to see exactly this information and then know exactly where it's going and where it's coming from. So let's dive into this information that we have to understand more into it, okay? Thing that we have here, the request that we have from our Meta, this is the reply right here. This is the reply. As you can see, this is the request that we send, and also this is the reply that we receive from Meta telling that yes, I'm up. And then this is all the numbers from the Kali to the Meta. This is interesting. Yes, so let me show you guys here something. When I was doing this research about this one right here, I found something very interesting. Target was breached back in 2013. Okay, let me see. Let me try to bring that page, show you guys something. Okay, what I want to show you guys is 2013 Target got breached. Okay, so now let's see something here. I found out this when I was doing this research about this project right here. But let me show you guys something very interesting here. So guys, with this breach right here, the hackers was able to get up to 40 million credit and debit record from Target. And this is crazy. But let me tell you guys how they were able to get this record, how they were able to get this credit and debit record with when this breach happened back in 2013 with Target. Let me tell you guys what they did. So if you guys are interested, you guys can read through this paper. It will tell you a lot of information. But basically what they did was they were able to hack into the HVAC system, which is the AC system. That's what they use to be able to get in contact with the machine that they have inside of the Target. You know, the checkout machine, the machine that you run your credit card and debit card, stuff like that. And that's where they were able to do it. But what they used was basically the HVAC, the AC system. That's what they used to get in contact with that machine. So here, basically the hackers, what they did was, so they use a network. For example, there was a third party company that was basically doing they're the one who have the remote access into the network of Target just because they wanted to, run the HVAC system and stuff like that. And then now, because Target didn't really do a proper segmentation of the network, so the hackers were able to move from the HVAC system into a more sensitive area, which is included all the registers that they have. Okay, so they initially install a malware into the devices that capture the credit card information directly from the memory RAM before it was encrypted, and then they used that remote access that they found because the third party, which is another company that was running the HVAC system, they had it there. So that's what exactly they used to be able to hack those registers and get all the information, the debit card, and then all the information. With what happened with Target, the only thing we can learn from it is there is a lot of failure here because there was a network failure here. The segmentation that they have was not that good, and then how come the HVAC system was able to ping those registers? There was a problem there. Okay, so now basically what we can learn from there is if you're in a system and then now you find two devices that are connecting, that are pinging each other, can talk to each other without, for sure these two devices, they shouldn't have any communication between them. It's something that we kind talk about and mention it because that's not supposed to be. I don't know how that happened to Target, but that's basically a big time network failure. All right, now that we're done here, let's go ahead and I'm going to clear this one, and we are going to use something called Netcat, okay? And then let me explain what is Netcat, and then from there we are going to need another terminal, which is going to be 3 terminals. And those 3 terminals, one will be listening, and then I'm gonna show you guys what we're gonna do with that, and then how we're gonna use Netcat. All right, now that we are done with that, let's move on into the next step, which is going to be this one will be very cool because we are going to use Netcat is going to be as like a middleman. Okay, we are going to see how Netcat can be used as like a middleman, so kind of like a spy between the Kali Linux that we have and then the Metasploitable. Okay, so now with this you will need 3 terminal. We have the first terminal, which is going to be, we are going to use the Tcpdump here, and then here is going to be whatever is going to capture whatever we're doing. Okay, so now we have 3 terminal here, and let's go ahead and then just move on with that. So the first terminal is going to be the Netcat, and then the second one is going to be the Netcat, and the third one is going to be our target one. Okay, now for the first one, this is the command that we're going to run, sudo tcpdump, and then we have the interface, and then let's use the inside of the eto. Okay, and the xkz, that's what we're going to use, the xkz. Just basically like tell us what is taking place between these 2 machines communicating. Okay, that's what we're going to use, and now we can do enter, and as you can see now it is listening, as you can see now. So full protocol T-code listening onto the hello with that what we have here, and then now it's listening exactly what's going on. So now let's go ahead and then use the Netcat command right here, which is going to be the middleman between what we're doing. So now here with the middle one, we're going to do nc, which is going to represent as the Netcat, and then we are going to run the 27.1. So this one is always represent the home machine that we have, the home, which is the Kali that we are using right here. And by using this IP address right here, 127.0.0, it's like a Netcat is trying to connect to your own laptop, which is the own machine that you have, which is going to be our Kali Linux. But to be able to connect to that, we will need and then now we can go ahead and then click on enter here. And as you can see, we have an error here. It said the connection refuses. Okay. And as you can see, the Tcpdump is already have what's going on. Okay. So now the reason why we have this refusal right here, just because we did not open the port in the machine that we are trying to log on. So now let's use this one to access to the port first, to open the port first. And when the port is open, now we'll be able to run this command again. Let's go ahead and then open the port here. Okay, so with the third terminal, what we are going to do is we run the Netcat, and then L, which is represent the loop back, and then let's go -p, which is like the port that we are trying to open, and it's going to be 444. Okay, so now that's what we're going to run in the terminal to be able to have that port open, and we can click enter. Let's go ahead here, click enter. Okay, so now the port should be open. And now let's go back here and run the same command again, and it should be working from here. Okay, now that we are trying to retype the same command, let's do enter. There you go. As you can see now, it is listening. Okay, so this is what we have now. It is listening, and now that shows like these 2 machines are connecting. The Netcat is be able to be in the middle and listening exactly what's going on. As now this one is listening, which is the Netcat. Now let's see exactly what we have here. Let me write here, send me all the information that you have, enter. Okay, so now let's see if he's be able to capture exactly those information. So now what we type here, as I type send me all the information, we can see that send me all the information right here. So this is where I type the send me all the information, and this is where you can find it. And then normally the Netcat should be able to find that message that we have, which is send me all the information that I typed there. And the crazy part about this is this machine right here is listening. The Netcat is listening, is seeing all the information that this one is sending to this one. Okay, and then now if you come back here into the first one, the Tcpdump, we should be able to see those information. Send me all the information that you have. For example, let's see if we can find it somewhere here. Let's see, it should be here. Send me all the information. Let's go all the way down. There you go, right here. Send me all the information, you see, that you have. Okay, You see, now the TCP dump is just listening, right? So all the activity that these two machines are talking about, now the Netcat is capturing exactly. So the Netcat is the middleman, is capturing all the information that I'm writing here. And as you can see, the TCP dump was able to find that information. As you can see here, it is right here. Send me all the information that you have. It's right here. The time that we send it and who sent it is right here. Yeah, so with TCP dump, we can do a lot of funny stuff with it. And then, it's very important when you trying to capture, to analyze information, going through data flowing between two machines. And as long as you can communicate, you can connect with the other machine, you'll be able to get this information right here. So now with TCP dump, let's go ahead and then stop the terminal. Now, something else that we can do here, we can use, let's say that you wanted to capture those, whatever going on between this machine, and then you want to get that as a file, as like a written file, right? You can use this command right here. Let's do sudo tcpdump, and this time let's change it to 0 and then w as like write. For example, let's create a file name. Let's name it as carb20. Let's do file. Okay. Now let's use this, create a file that we're going to capture everything that's going on between the two machines. So let's do enter, and as you can see now, TCP dump is listening, right? So as it's listening right here, now all the information that we are going to do here is going to capture it into and write it as a file, as a pickup file. Okay. So now what we did is we asked TCP dump to get our Ethernet interface that we have, and then now listen on everything that we are doing and capture that information, that what's going on here, and write it in a pickup file. Okay, now that's what we're doing right here. Now let's go ahead and then see if, okay, I was saying let's make sure that our meta is up. So let's ping that machine, which is gonna be 10.6.11. Okay, looks like it's up now. Okay, that's good. Let's stop it here. Now let's clear that. Now our meta is up. Okay, so now that our meta is up, let's try to go ahead and connect via FTP. Okay, and let's see our pass .6.11. Okay, that's what we want. That's what we're going to do. Now FPT, I'm sure a lot of people know what it is, or if not, you'll learn it during your network class. So it's going to be file transfer protocol. So this protocol is open into our meta just because the meta is very vulnerable. We have everything open just to kind of be able to attack that machine however we want it. So that's why we're using this FTP, because we know for sure is open. And this is just basically used to upload file and then send file, download file, stuff like that. That's what it's used for. So now that's why we're going to use to try to connect into our meta, and then do enter. As you can see, it is connected via FTP. Okay, now that we are here, let's go ahead and then click our MSF admin. Is going to be our password. You remember that we have that as like a username, and then when you're done, the password also will be MSF admin for our meta, and then enter. You go. As you can see, we were able to log in successfully. Remote system type. Okay, we're good. Now we are inside. Okay, as we were logging here using the FTP, and then now everything should be captured here into what we were doing inside of this file right here. But let's go ahead and then make sure that the capture was happening. Okay, so now let's close this one, and then here we can just go ahead and then Control-C. Now let's go and then close this one, and then now let's open this one here, make sure that everything that we were doing was being captured. Now we can go ahead and then do Control-C here, and then as you can see, it's telling us exactly we have 49 packets captured and then 49 packets received by filter. Okay, so now we already have that, because you were listening, right? So it has something captured here. So now let's double check, make sure to see exactly what we captured. And then to know exactly where it's located here, let's go ahead and then do ls, which is going to be a list. And then as you can see, this is our file right here. And this is the file that we have right here that we created the capture, as you can see right here. So this is the file right here. So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get access to the file and then see exactly what we have. Okay, now let's ask Tcpdump to read this file, and to do that we do sudo. Let me change a little bit here. So it's going to be, let's change that to read. Okay, now we are asking Tcpdump to read this file right here, which is the capture20, whatever name, capture20.pickup. Okay, and now we can go ahead and then press enter. There you go. So this is all the information that we were doing. This is everything is reading the file right now. As you can see, this is all the packet that was capturing. Okay, as you can see, it is a lot of information here. But let's say we want it to be more specific and then more clear. You can go ahead and then ask to, let's see. All right, let's see what we can do to change it to read it more clear. And to read it more clear, we want to see all the ins and out of it. Let's go ahead and add ASCII here. So it's going to be -XA. Okay, now let's do enter. There you go. As you can see, now it's more organized and then it's more clear on exactly what we want to see. Okay, so as you can see here, I started here. There's a lot of information. It started from, there you go. So now we have this information more clear, as you can see, reading the file from the capture. And this is what we have. This is the snapshot of what we need. So with all this information, if we do a little bit of analyzing, we can see something interesting. So this is the username that we had over there. And also when you come down here, this is the password that we type. As you can see, this is the password. So with this listening and then capturing everything we were doing, we were able to get the username easy and also find the password easy. So basically, with this tool right here, you'll be able to capture everything that someone else is typing and their password and their username and anything you want. So this is crazy. I've been, learning about this a little bit, and then this is definitely something really interesting. Wow. So the password is right here and then the username. So if you are someone else, whatever they type, whatever they do on their end, you'll be able to capture those information here. You can capture the password, their email, whatever they type, you can capture. If you had like a social security number, a bank account, whatever the case may be, you'll be able to capture everything on your end here. Okay, now that we are done here, it's time for us to jump into the Wireshark and see exactly what can we learn from there, okay? So let's just clear this one, stop it, and then let's clear the terminal. And then now what we want to do, we want to go ahead and jump into our Wireshark. There you go. You have Wireshark here. And the difference between the Wireshark and the Tcpdump is more command line friendly and is command line. And then now the Wireshark is interface. As you can see, this is the interface that you can make more sense. It's not about making more sense, but this one is with the interface, and then the Tcpdump, you always have to be on the command line, on the terminal to be able to use the Tcpdump. Okay, so now let's go ahead and then do some same thing, kind of similar same thing with the Wireshark. Okay, now that we are here inside of the Wireshark, now what we want to do, we need to capture information via the ET0 right here. That's what we need, right? So let's double click on that, and as you can see here, you have this one is going to be to start, the stop, and then to refresh is right here, restart current capture. And then now, as we started here, let's go ahead and then bring in a terminal that we were using. Let's see, let me bring in a terminal. Give me a second. There you go. So I just need one of them. Okay, so now this one is right here. And then now let's open the terminal here. And as we have a terminal here, and then the Wireshark now is listening, let's go ahead and then ping our meta, make sure that meta is up. Okay, there you go. So now that we are pinging the meta right here, and then now we are getting all the information, what's going on right here, we are receiving it here into our Wireshark. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with today. So now as he's pinging right now, we are capturing everything that's going on here into our Wireshark. Let me stop it here. So basically it's the same thing. The Wireshark and then the Tcpdump is kind of the same. But the Tcpdump is faster because it's based on terminal, and then this one is like a GUI where like it has an interface. And I feel like this one is more friendly, but it is capturing the source where it's coming from, the destination where it's going, the protocol that we use, which is the ACMP. That's what we use, the protocol. And also this is the length of exactly when we started and then when we ended. Again here, like as you can see here, it always tells us the source where it's coming from, who requested is this one, which is our Kali Linux, and the destination. This destination is the Metasploitable that we have, the meta, and then what protocol that we use and how long was it, and then the information, the info is like what kind of request that we did. As you can see, we did ping, so we pinged that one, right? And then as you can see, we have the ping, the ID of the ping is right here. So now a second line here, we have the request, the reply. Okay, as you can see, this is the reply right here, who replied, which is the meta, and going where to our Kali Linux. As you can see, the Kali Linux IP address right here, and then this is where is the reply going there. what protocol also they use, which is the ACMP, and then the time, which is that, and what kind of reply that we use, which is going to be, which was like the echo. That's what we have here. So this is basically like all the information that we had in with the TCP dump, but this one is more the GUI side of it, where you can see and read and then make motion. As you can see, time, source, destination, protocol, length, and F. Now, if you come a little bit down here, let me just close the frame. So if you come down here, as you can see, this is the hex information. This is the CASI information right here. And then here, this is also another information where you have the frame. So they have like 3 different, 1, 2, 3, 4 different levels. So when you come to frame right here, it gives you all the information, the section, and how many bytes were captured, and then how many bytes were captured, where you're coming from the interface, which was ET0, the ID, that's what it gives you here, what type of it was, the Ethernet, the arrival time, and everything. It gives you all those information that you need. Now, this part right here, the frame one, it will represent your layer 1. When you learn about the OSI model, you will know this is the layer 1. And then now here, if you go to the Ethernet, it should be able to give you the layer 2 information. Okay, you have the layer 2 right here, the destination, and then what type of is it, which was IPv4, and all those kind of information. The the source is right here, the IP of the source, and the destination's IP is right here. That's what it give you here. And then now if you go to the third one, which is the layer 3, now you see exactly here, kind of, let me go down a little bit, kind of same information again, which is like the protocol right here, and then the source is right here, and it gives you the version, the length of everything, and this information. But this is really interesting. Okay, now we can go ahead and stop this capture right here. As you can see, stop, and then we can close. And now we don't want to save anything. And then now let's come back, let's try something. Let's come back here, clear let's see. Now I did ls to have this file right here, but let's try to Wireshark, and then I'm trying to read this one with Wireshark, this file right here. There's gonna be capture 20. Okay, now let's see. There you go. Okay. Now it already opened that file that we had. Okay, so now it shows us the file, what happened there, all those information, the source, where it comes from, destination, protocol, same thing. And as you can see, some of them were the different protocols, such as TCP right here, FTP right here. Now, okay, so in case you want to use Wireshark to read different file that you have, so as you can see, all this information there right here. Okay. As you can see, this one is more. We have different protocol here. Let's say that you wanted to focus only with those that were used with the FTP. Let's try to do that. So now you can come here and then do enter, boom. As you can see, it gives you all the protocol that has the FTP on it, as you can see here. Okay, and it gives you the information, kind of make it a little bit easier to understand exactly what happened. And then let's say we want to use just the ICMP, do enter, and it gives you all those with the protocol with the ICMP. Okay, guys, as you can see, Wireshark is very interesting. I mean, this is just the beginning. This is just like the beginning of Wireshark. You can learn so much with Wireshark. It depends on exactly how long you want to take it, but definitely I'll be doing a lot of more learning with Wireshark and Tcpdump, stuff like that, just to analyze traffic and then understand exactly how it works. But this is definitely very interesting. Let's go back here and then go back to the file, the FTP file, enter, and then now let's choose one of them and then go right click and go to follow and then click on TCP stream and then see what. Okay. As you can see, now this is more interesting right here. So it gives you exactly the username that we use to log into our Meta, and then it gives us the password that we use right here, and then it gives us all the status that we need to understand exactly what did we use to connect to into the Meta and all those kind of information. Wow. All right, guys, that will definitely do it for this hands-on lab experiment that I was doing today. And today I have, we use different tools such as Netcat, Tcpdump, Wireshark. And with Netcat, I was able to test network connection and then simulate basic data transfer using the FTP, and also using Tcpdump, I capture live traffic right from the terminal to understand exactly how that works. And also it was just amazing. Just see how much like raw data flow through like a network. And then finally we dive into Wireshark, which is gonna help us kind of visualize and analyze those packets in a large detail, in a more clear view, and this section definitely taught me how much information can be exposed. This is one thing that I learned with this home lab, how much information can be exposed, If a network aren't properly secure, from IP addresses to protocol, to like encrypted message, this is something that someone can capture and can see exactly what they can, they can see exactly what's going on between different machines and stuff like that. So overall, I did definitely enjoy this home lab, and it gave me like a clear understanding of like how packets move around, how traffic can be monitored, and those tools like Wireshark, Tcpdump, and Netcat that we use also. And this is definitely a beginning of what I'm hands-on that I'm doing here in my home lab. So this is definitely very interesting, and I will definitely create more hands-on experience when it comes to using Kali Linux and then stuff like that. And thank you guys for watching. And if you find this video helpful and interesting, feel free to like and comment, follow for more home lab walkthrough that I'll be doing. And if you have any question, feel free to reach out, email me, hit me up on LinkedIn or whatever the case may be. All right, thank you guys, and I'm gonna see you guys into the next one.